And we're back in Everybody Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Thank you to McPhee's Grill Templeton, McPhee'sGrill.com, 805-434-3204, hometown cooking through and through in Templeton, California. And visit Ian and his crew at McPhee'sGrill.com. Don't forget about his butcher shop and his own barbecue sauce. It's McPhee'sGrill.com, 805-434-3204. We're going to talk about the state of golf in
State of golf.
2019.
Yeah. So 55 million golfers worldwide as of 2019. That number surprisingly hasn't changed a lot over many, many years. There's 31 million golfers estimated in the United States, which is by far more than any other country. Almost 7 million in Europe, 13.6 in Asia, 1.7 million in Australia, a million in South America, and 500,000 or 500,000 in South Africa. So 55 million. The number hasn't changed a lot. So what has changed a lot are the number of courses. So there's
500 closed?
I asked Nikki what she thought, how many closed in 19. And she so positively said 500.
Feeling good.
Which would be a lot of golf courses, but it is a lot. But
there's new ones coming.
But I'll give you the differences. There are some coming, but it's not as near as many as that are closing for sure. But since the boom that happened in the 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s, golf courses are being built left and right. So as you know, since I've lived here for 25 years, there's 5 or 6 new courses in that 25 years that opened just around here. Right. So they just were popping up all over the place. And so since then, there's been a decline. So if the golf numbers haven't changed and there are more courses, there's just more supply than there is demand. So golfers were spread out amongst places. So the rounds went down, right? So if you had 200 rounds a day, you could have gone down to 140 because there's more games in town. So golf courses are trying to figure this business out. And so 198 golf courses, about 200 courses closed in 19. And those are 18-hole equivalent courses. Doesn't mean like 36-hole, but 18.
Oh, like I had counted like Peter Hay getting like bulldozed before it gets rebuilt. I had counted that in my 500.
Out of your 500, yeah. And the little mini course in your backyard that shut down. The putting green
mini
over
golf,
at Monarch.
Mini golf's going down. Yeah, those. I
Actually,
counted all
growing.
those. I counted all those.
Mini golf is growing, believe it or not. But anyways, I'm glad you counted them on. Just keep counting too, and let us know when you come back with. I didn't know you were counting like one holes in that one little driving range off to the right there.
The one where I killed the coot.
So even though it's the closing of a once popular golf course isn't typically celebrated, it says the reality is it's not so bad because most courses are not designed or destined to live forever. But a lot of these courses that have closed down, the owners are making good of it because some are going into solar panel parks or whatever they call them. And they're doing different. They've turned them into different. Some are going into housing if they can get licensed for that. But they're using the property for different things, including vineyards and different things where they're making money from it. So it's not a loss. It's a loss for the golfers, but not so much for the owners. So the owners of the land aren't too upset because most of them are doing relatively well. There are 17 new courses opening in 20. It did open in 2019. Actually, 16. One is about to open. It says. But it's not a bad thing that only 17 because of what you were mentioning with our local Cypress golf course, is golf restoration and renovation have become big businesses, like Montecito Country Club, which closed for 3 years to be renovated. So a lot of the courses, instead of shutting down, people are coming in, buying them, and renovating. So the renovators are very busy right now. They're taking existing courses, making them better to increase people wanting to come to them. So, Mike, you got one of the most popular courses on all of the central coast of California. You guys are always making improvements. It's in beautiful shape. Paso Robles is awesome. So there's a money thing involved there, and courses, and so. And water was a huge thing in California for people, golf courses. With the droughts we had a few years back was just awful. Yeah. Water levels are coming up. There's good news for like one that I wear my hat at right now at Black Lake. There's a new GM. There's brand new range mats went in last week.
Nice.
So they're there. There's optimism. There's a lot of local golf all around here. So it's tough to get the player. So it's and I tilt my hat to the Paso Golf Club because your rounds are probably better than anybody's around. I don't know that fact, but I'm pretty sure they're up there. And it's nice to have a successful business in a very competitive business. But they're not shutting down. There's a few locals that could have. So for example, Derry would shut half of it down. The other half came in, and it's being used as a Cal Poly work site for them, right?
Right.
So it's okay. I think the parks own that property, right? Is it the county?
Yeah,
own that
I
land?
think it's the county
So
parks.
there's a lease.
Yeah.
They're doing
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's not all bad news. I think there's going to be a happy medium. The plus of 19 was all the different businesses like the mini courses and Top Golfs and simulator areas, people to bring the number of golfers up.
Yeah.
So there's only 13 new courses open at 18. Well, there's 17 and 19. There's less courses. There was more courses closed in 18 than there were in 19. So you can see it's starting to bring itself kind of. There's got to
Into
be
equilibrium.
there has to be a nice, happy,
Right.
so everybody can make a living. So
Right.
too much courses and not enough players.
Right.
So and Mike knows there are numbers of new golfer number, junior numbers are way up, but for almost everybody who starts the game, someone quits the game. Right? That's why the numbers.
That's the
are
numbers
staying
the same. Yeah.
So you're getting a bunch of new people in, but people retire and people stop. And I think that the industry, as we've talked many times, is figuring out a way, how do we maintain or get new golfers? And because the same complaints, too expensive, too much time, it's all these things that people, it's too hard, and I'm not invited. I have no one to play with. Were the biggest two fears. I have no one to play with to get started with. I've never been invited. So they're trying to find ways to figure that out. And Top Golf, and seeing all the similar Top Golf things are now?
Yeah.
Different names, but the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
They're popping up all over the place. And hopefully that'll turn into golfers who leave those facilities to get enough skill set and confidence and friends that they can bring that group over to a golf course. So I don't think it's dismal, is it? Yeah, I think golf, although the numbers has plateaued, it seems like for the last 4 or 5 years, it's the same 30 million people we've had in this country. A million quit, a million start.
I think with golf too, though, it is a social game, and even people that take it up who may be very social, it's our job as PGA pros and staff at golf courses to introduce those people to other people and get them in groups to play and feel welcome. And that's our job. I mean, that's how you're going to keep your industry and any industry
feeling
healthy,
feeling welcome, and have people they
it's
can
a social
play with.
thing, feeling welcome, a place they want to hang out, and so that's what it really takes. And it takes that, and it takes vision from the ownership to make a facility go. So you've got to have that vision, you got to have the resources, and then you got to have the staff
and special events, if you will, if you want to call them events, special opportunities.
Yeah.
The different leagues that you have and the different. So
9 holes.
If you
where
don't
it's
have
at,
those,
man.
9 holes is way where
9
it's at.
holes where it's at. I'm telling you, I know it's weird. It's weird. Like I think even Nikki and I were talking about. It's different even for me. Like I've been participating in these 9-hole events, but I get it now that I've gone in and I've done it. I'm like, okay, maybe they're more frequent or they're once a week, but people have time for 9. That's what they have, and then they'll occasionally bump in a 19 and 18. And I'm talking about the majority of golfers, not the people that are retired and they can play 2-3 times a week, and they're going out for a walk because they need to walk 18 holes and they need to.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people that have families that are still working, which is still a good chunk of that 55 million. I mean, there's less retirees now, I think, than there ever has been at this point. And there'd be less people retiring too.
And Nikki
moving forward.
said in Scotland that everybody plays. It's a small little country. It's part of the 7 million in Europe, but that's what they do there, right?
Yeah.
That's what they do there. So it's nice. You get to see people grab their clubs and they go out to the golf course at all ages. You probably see all ages up there.
And all interacting with each other too. It was so great.
And you know what's cool about that? And I think this is something that the first tee has helped with this, but how many times, Billy, have you been at a golf course and, the regular people are going to play and then some kids come into play and you just see the regular people go,
kids are here.
Kids are here. Oh my, they're going to ruin this whole thing. But then you talk about and you see it across overseas, it's
Yeah.
like everybody's like, "Come on, let's play."
Well, the,
Right.
the
Welcome. It's a
sad thing,
whole,
they used to say
it's-
that about
Oh,
women.
about
I know,
golf.
women.
it's the
I was
same
going to say
thing.
the
Oh,
same
there's a
thing.
group-
I hate that.
I
It
know.
drives me nuts.
a woman-
Believe me.
And they play as fast, if not faster, than
Yeah.
any men's group I've ever played with. And they know the rules better.
Yeah.
So it's. I would rather play with 3 ladies than I would with any
Oh, totally.
3 strangers, ladies, than versus 3 strangers men in a heartbeat.
Right.
And that's just because it's more comfortable and fast moving. I'm more of a fast player than slow.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, so I think that people need to know that I think we're working on it. It looks like the industry is taking aware of this. There's too many brand new clubs coming out, and there's too many things. The marketing for the 2 or 3% of the avid, or not the avid golfer, the freak, the golf fanatic. It's a better word, fanatic.
All free.
They really design all these things: new drivers, new hot, new ball, this and this and that, and that's scaring for a lot of people because they think they need to spend $600 for a driver or something when they don't.
Always comes up in fittings when we do
Right.
fittings. Always.
I know, and it's
Always.
so they're out there for the one that need them, but that's
Yeah.
the marketing you see on TV
Right.
and stuff. Is you're seeing the brand new thing. Hey, I just got a driver 2 years ago. There's a new one now. Same company, same everything,
All right.
and they're going for a very small percentage, but that's where the money is made. But this says the average American golfer, and I think it should say the avid American golfer. But the average, this is written average, but I think a better word would be avid. 46 years old, practices 11 minutes, 1 hour and 11 minutes a week, has an average household income of $100,000, almost $101,000. That's pretty high income. So it's still
Right.
kind of a high money game, if you will. Remember, there used to be
Right.
the game for the wealthy. This is kind of showing that could be the case. But I think that's the avid golfer, not the average golfer.
Mhm.
Spends $3,000 a year on Golf Plus, plays 46 rounds a year, has an index of 15.1. Again, I think the average is 20. So this is probably more of the avid player than the
Mhm.
average. Loses 1.3 balls per round. That's pretty funny.
That is funny.
And has played for 23 years. So, of course, the new beginners haven't played. So this I think the word average is wrong when I looked this up this morning.
Right.
It's got to be avid. But so it's is it a rich person's game? I don't know. Is it?
It doesn't
No.
have to be.
It doesn't have to be for sure.
No. You can make.
It's-
You have choices, and that's where we need to educate
And I
everybody.
think people need to know
Yeah.
they get what they pay for. You want to
Exactly.
pay for a lot, you could get a lot.
Sure.
You want to go out and have some fun and play golf and don't pay a lot, just expect to. It's just what I mean. It's expectations versus pocket money.
Exactly right.
So.
Thank you guys for tuning in. That's the first hour. We'll come back here with the second hour very shortly. You can catch Golf Talk Radio on our podcast at golftalkradio.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back.